you guys? This is Jared, and you are watching Backroad Exploration. It is the dead of winter right now. It's the very end of January, and I am headed into Utah's West Desert. This is a vast, huge desert that has a lot of areas that I have not explored. Right now, I'm on the Pony Express Trail, which I've done several trips on here. I've also done some trips that go right through this area, but I'm only going to be on this for a little bit, and then I'm going to be heading into a bunch of places in the West Desert that I've never been. I'm going to loop my way down towards the Delta area and then do a big circle around some of the West Desert mountains and head back tomorrow. So this is going to be 2 days of a ton of fun exploring a really remote area in the winter. Hopefully we hit a little bit of snow, but not too much. So let's get started. So I just jumped onto the dirt, headed into the West Desert, and man, it has been way too long. I am so excited. I cannot even begin to tell you how nice it is to be back out on the trail. This has been one of the longest breaks we have ever had. We did a really fun trip down in the Green River area right before Christmas, and unfortunately through the holidays we got smacked by a well-known illness going around, and so we have been on lockdown for like a month, and it feels so good to be back out exploring right now. I really have no idea what to expect. I've done a decent amount of exploring in the West Desert, but compared to how much stuff there is out here, I've only done a tiny bit. So I have made it off of the Pony Express Trail, and I'm making my way on a nice little desert track right now, and I'm just gonna see where this all takes me. So I've mapped it all out. I've got, I think, nearly 450 miles of trail that I'm gonna be covering over the next couple of days. Typically, these trails are a little bit faster moving, so that's actually possible, but we'll see. So I've had times where I can cover, 250 miles in a day, and sometimes where I can cover 50 miles in a day, so we'll see how it goes. Well, that little trail was short-lived. What was on my map and where the trail was going were not matching at all. It did look like a regular route, but it wasn't 100% positive, and it was just kind of a little, I don't know, horseshoe that looped off of the Pony Express Trail to do something a little different, then connects back up before I break off for the rest of the day. So since I wasn't sure where it was going, I decided to just jump back on. I'll be on this for, I don't know, I think about 4 or 5 miles, and then be headed out into the desert. I just jumped off of the Pony Express Trail, and now I'm headed into what's called Little Valley. I've never been here before. I've driven past this a bunch. If it does go up into the mountains that are in front of me, we're going to run into problems with snow really quick, but from my mapping, it looks like it kind of cuts through the valley of these two mountain ranges, so that's what I'm hoping for. Made it up over a little pass, and now we're headed back into a little valley, and I am just so awestruck with just how vast Utah's West Desert is, and that includes huge portions of it that are blocked off for like military testing areas and things like that. And despite those, there's just so much out here with so much to explore. Look at all those mountain ranges. And I know there's tons of prospecting that's taking place out here. there's just endless amounts of things to explore. I am loving this. Starting to climb. You can see these mountains over here are covered in snow. So definitely we're not going to be getting up over the top of those, but I'm not exactly sure where the trail goes. I think we skirt the edge and go around this range, which is what I'm hoping. Well, the snowdrift coming across the road right here where the road's kind of cut in, it is super deep. The front's definitely high centered. I'm just spinning. I'm going to try to put the lockers on, back out of this. I tried doing it without the lockers and wasn't able to. So I may have to find an alternate route. We'll see, because I think it's only going to get worse from here. Ugh. In a few other spots, I had to push through with a little bit of momentum. This is just deeper. It's actually not that bad behind me, but it's just deep enough that I'm totally high centered. So I'm gonna dig it out a little bit, see if I can get these wheels back on the ground, back out to drier spots. I'm worried that's not enough, but I've dug a bunch. We're gonna give it a try. Come on. All right, I've been digging for 38 minutes. And I've dug out a ton. You can see all this over here. That was all under the Jeep, high centering it. It definitely moved a little bit as I was digging out, so I think I can get out now. We'll give it a try. Alright, this better work. I need some new tires. I was wanting to put it off till summer, and man, am I regretting it right now. They are bald. I have undug everything under that Jeep. Not a single part is touching the snow. Kind of hard to tell, but you can see how deep that was that I ran into. It's crazy deep right there. But I can't believe I had such a hard time backing out of this. That was frustrating. Well, admittedly, about 10-15 minutes ago, I was really frustrated. I have dug out vehicles my entire life. I grew up in a mountain snow community, and this was one of the biggest pains that I've had, and it basically chalks up to bald tires. I wanted to put off the tires until the spring, and I don't know, I'm regretting that now. But anyways, I've got some dry clothes on, I've eaten some Chips Ahoy cookies, my spirits are much higher, and now I've got to find an alternate route. I don't love veering off of my planned route when I'm going solo because I share that route with Mike and my wife in case I don't show up like getting stuck, which would never happen. They know where to come look for me. So I'm going to see if I can find a quick way around this mountain to connect back on the route that I was on. If not, I may try the reverse route because I was basically just doing a big, huge loop through the West Desert, but I'm worried that the second part is longer, and I'm worried about fuel because basically I was planning on going like 120-ish miles to Delta, filling up in Delta, camping outside of Delta, and then doing the reverse, which I have plenty of gas for. But since I've already gone like halfway this way, backtracking all the way out and then doing the long way back to Delta might leave me short on fuel. So I've got to do some calculations, jump on Gaia, and see what my options are, but feeling much better. I believe I have found an alternate route that will get me around that mountain range and connect me back to the route that I was supposed to be on. So I'm going to give that a try. All right, the sun is going down really quickly. I've already done 136 miles today, and I still have a ways to go. I think I'm gonna keep going at least until 6:30, maybe a little bit later, and then try to find a little place to pull off where I can hopefully find a little spot out of the wind. It's really windy, which is gonna make cooking and stuff this evening no fun. So I'm hoping I can find a little spot out of the wind. Blows my mind that I've gone 136 miles just through this desert with basically nothing out here. It's beautiful, it's remote, it's really fun to explore. Well, I pulled off of this little remote spur trail not far from Baker Hot Springs Road, and I'm just camping there. There is nothing glamorous about this campsite at all, but I do have it all to myself, and I'm going to get some dinner cooked up. I was hoping to stop by the hot springs way earlier in the day. I drove by them this evening. I figured it would be busy since it's a Friday night. It definitely was, so I might stop by in the morning. It didn't look like all of those people were planning on staying the night, so it'd be interesting to see how busy it is first thing in the morning tomorrow, but I have to go by there to get to Delta to fill up on fuel, so the last little bit as it was getting dark was wild. There was one section that was super muddy. I got really worried that I was going to get stuck in it, but luckily I was able to make it through. The Jeep is totally caked in mud. Those tires sticking out just this much. Oh, the Jeep looks like I went through the craziest mud hole in the world. And the reality is this has been muddy, but if you'd been following me in a regular vehicle where the tires aren't sticking out just that much over the mud flaps, or the fender flares, you would have no idea. Anyways, it's ridiculous how muddy it is. I have stuff I got to scrape off.